Yes, welcome to Friday. Yes, what an exciting Friday we have this week. We have a first on Gay Detroit Radio. Yes, a first, I tell you. We have a gay metal show. That is the first ever. It's coming to Lansing on the 31st of October. What a great night. Halloween. It's going to be an all-metal gay show, or gay all-metal show. Whichever way it is, it's great. And also, another first, they're going to be accompanied by a drag show as well. Yay! What an absolutely fabulous idea. Well, this is going to be happening this Friday. So we're going to talk about all that later. We've got Alfonso Civile with No Lyle, and they're going to be playing some of their songs. We've also got Sunday Hats. They're going to be playing some of their songs, and we're going to have a fun all metal time. I'm really excited, actually. This is the first time I've ever hosted a gay metal show. In fact, it is the first in history, and you heard it first here. Yes, Gay Detroit Radio. Ha ha! Settle down, James. So, how about we start? Well, also, we've got lots of it's on, it's off. It's on, it's off. Alaska, well, that's on, it's off, it's on, it's off with the weddings. It's a bit like Sarah Palin's political career. Is up, it's down, it's down, it's down, it's drunk, it's falling, it's drunk, it's falling, it's drunk. Let's have some music. Sunday Hats and Let's Play Doctor. Yes, our first ever metal sound on the Gay Metal Show for Gay Detroit Radio. Well, as you know, everything is going on and on and on and on, and it just seems like now it's forever and ever that gay Detroit, gay America seems to be stepping forward. There's like now 35 states that are now in the realms of allowing same-sex marriages, and there's a few stays in there as well. Apparently on Monday, the Wyoming court is going to actually make a judgment on Monday at 5 p.m. That's possibly going to be good for us. But the Ninth Circuit Court has actually temporarily halted the Alaska same-sex marriages. So we don't know what's going to happen there as well. It's just like it's stopping the inevitable. But as the initial same-sex marriages took place in Alaska, days after the district court ruling against the state's ban on gay nuptials, the U.S. Ninth Circuit Court Appeals issued a temporary stay, and it's halting the additional weddings for the time being. So it's temporary, like everything else. It's going to come, and they're thinking that actually maybe, let's see, freedom to marry could be more or less in 2015. I mean, now it's going to be like finishing the job, really, the freedom to marry, because the marriage is now moving nationwide. It's, like the states where all the paths of marriage is paved, like there's Arizona, there's Kansas, Montana, South Carolina. They're having a bit of problems as well because the Attorney General there has actually vowed that he's probably going to go to his deathbed for actually fighting this, and I'm sure somebody will help him on the way. Wyoming, which is going to be on Monday, states in the Sixth Circuit. There's Michigan now. We're still waiting for that. That actually was passed a little while ago by Judge Friedland, and it was stayed straight away. Schuette is another one, and Schneider. Complete waste of time, waste of oxygen. It's just totally disgusting. I don't know what it is. Actually, funnily enough, somebody said, well, the reason that the Republicans want a smaller government is because, like, the crooks want less of a police force because then it's easier to get away with murder. And I can actually see that. Kentucky. Believe it or not, in Kentucky, it's still legal to have sex with a horse, but you can't get married. Not to the same sex, anyway, but you can screw a horse. What can I say? We've got some weird bloody laws over here. There's kissing cousins everywhere. You can marry anyone, but you can't marry somebody that you love. Totally ridiculous. Oh, dear. What really? This is really ridiculous. And, of course, Houston now is screaming and crying. Of course, Michelle Bachmann is on her little high horse. Dumb little cow that she is. Because they're now screaming that the pastors of the freedom of speech is not happening anymore. It's just ridiculous. It's not actually, we're not harassing people. We're actually harassing the bullies, and we're using subpoenas, and it's called lawyering. So please, Houston, get over it. I think we'll have some music, and then we shall see. Oh, what else we've got? Yes, we've got the wonderful Sunday hats again, and we're going to play, let's see, The Child in Me. Yes, we'll play that. Ladies and gentlemen, you listen to Gay Detroit Radio, which is on www.radio-op.com, and we're also on www.gaydetroitradio.com, Gay Detroit Radio at gmail.com, Gay Detroit Radio at Twitter, Gay Detroit Radio at Facebook. Yes, everything's Gay Detroit Radio. So please keep listening, and we've got Sunday Hats and The Child in Me.
And the
Yes, we're continuing our first ever, on Gay Detroit Radio. It's Gay Metal Show Week. And also we will be actually repeating some of the show on the 31st to actually help Alfonso Civile, which is going to be the first metal show, and that's going to be in Lansing. I'll talk to you more about that. And actually we're going to be interviewing him after this section, so there's lots to talk about, and I'm really excited actually. Yes, the first ever gay metal show. Yes, a gay metal. I like that actually. It's different. It's nice. And actually, believe it or not, you'll know more about when we talk through the interview. But then again, music is supposed to be genre free, really. It's like art. It's personal. So we shouldn't be judged on anything that we like. So let's see, what have we got in the news? Well, there's lots of things. Now, there's two very disturbing pieces of news here, which I'm really, really, really getting pissed off about these people who are in the realms of power. And these now, it doesn't actually fall under now the Catholic Church, because unfortunately it's now going into pastors of different religious denominations. And there's a youth pastor here who claimed he could cure a gay teen and confesses to raping him. This is ridiculous. Police have arrested a Sunday school teacher at the Pollyann Church of God in Eubank, Kentucky. We were talking about that earlier. I don't feel so flippant now. After a 16-year-old student complained that he had been sexually abusing him for the past 6 months. Rex Murphy was charged with the first-degree sexual abuse, third-degree sodomy, and using a minor in a sexual performance. According to the arrest citation, the unnamed victim said that Murphy had touched him inappropriately at the church and at Murphy's home on at least 10 occasions. I am so fed up with these people who are professing to be people of God and just doing ungodly things. And it's not now happening. It's just not the Catholic Church, because, as we know, there's millions and millions and millions of dollars of lawsuits being swept under the carpet, just because we can't get to these people either. But at least these people we can. And then there's also a conservative Christian radio host has been accused of sexually assaulting a 3-year-old boy. 3-year-old, for God's sake, come on. I mean, Joshua Brett Kendall, 29, of the Christian talk show 660 AM and 92.9 FM, is charged with first-degree criminal sexual conduct with a minor under the age of 11, according to the WIFF. According to the arrest warrant, Kimbrell is under the guise, is this a guise of a name, fondled and sexually assaulted a 3-year-old victim. Greenville police say that Kimbrell was arrested last Tuesday and been held without bond or bail. I'm just overwhelmed by the absolute arrogance of these people. And once again, under the guise of Christianity and religion, they use and abuse their power. They're completely controlling our communities through fear of religious freedom, and in fact what they're really doing is religiously raping our communities. This really has to stop. We really have to put a stop to this. This religious freedom thing is going way too far. Way too far. And once again, here's a young child here. And it's actually, believe it or not, the rising number of homeless gay teens are being cast out by religious families. There's nothing religious about these families. This is cruelty. This is absolute disgusting. This is totally not acceptable. These young children here, It's just thousands upon thousands upon thousands of young children, and there's so many people that are being hurt, and with hatred. And if this is supposed to be families, and this is again supposed to be Christian, there is nothing godly about these actions. There's nothing godly about your cruelty. There is nothing godly about you at all. You should totally be ashamed of yourselves. Really. Totally ashamed of yourselves. But on a lighter note, now that we've got marriage in Nevada, why did it take so long to get marriage in Nevada, Las Vegas? I mean, come on, the marriage capital where everybody wants to elope to is Las Vegas. And it's taken them over 10 years to tie the knot, so to speak. Well, now they want to become the gay capital of the world. Well, what can I say? Well, I think they will be, actually. So, really, everything stays in Vegas. Well, apparently marriage doesn't anymore, and it never did. So, yes, Las Vegas now wants to become the capital of the world. I think that should be done. Actually, yeah, I got married in New York, and still my favorite place is New York. I lived there for many, many years, and I had a happy old time, in my old radio show, which was Radio Gay Today with WVOX in good old New Rochelle, New York. And I enjoyed it. And hi, guys, if you're listening. I really do miss it over there. But I'm in good old Michigan now. And, oh yeah, I'll tell you more. I got an acting job. I'm now official. Do you know I was in New York for years, and I come to Detroit and I get an acting job, an acting gig in Detroit. Can you believe that? Oh well. C'est la vie. After this, we're going to have some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful songs. I'll see you in a few minutes. I'm just going to play one of my songs, and then we're going to get into heavy metal. James D, and it was the Gay Detroit Radio.
Walked into my life, looked into my eyes, I understood my own beauty and grace. Walked right up to me, asked if I was free. I was falling so in love with your face, and now I need to know who you are. I can't love you from afar. I'm gonna need you every day. I'm gonna want you every day. I'm gonna love you every day. I'm gonna need you every day. I'm gonna want you every day. I'm gonna love you
Yeah, and welcome back to Gay Detroit Radio. I've got a really good guest, and who would have known? Its name is Alfonso Civile, and he runs a gay metal site. Now, Alfonso, explain to me, because, I mean, you know, unfortunately with the gay, everybody thinks that everybody who's gay is into, like, you know, twink music, little fur things, and everything's nice and spice,
Of course.
but also I've heard of, like, the dykes on bikes, and of course there is the Harley,
Yeah.
and they call them the Harley Queens, which I think is a little detrimental as well. But but there's more to life than just being a gay man or a gay woman, which I try to tell everyone. So here we are, is to educate them, or even edumacate them. So, Alfonso, explain to us how you got this thing on the road.
Oh, well, you know, like, I'm actually, I'm not originally from Michigan. I'm from Miami, Florida. I grew up all my life.
We'll forgive you.
And, you know, yeah, and culture, you know, I mean, I myself, I'm a straight male, but I have a lot of great friends that are, you know, part of the gay community.
Mm-hmm.
And I myself am in a, you know, touring national metal band out of Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
We've been together now for 15 years. And something I've noticed a lot that's been coming up more and more is the subject of, you know, sexuality and equal rights, you know, in pretty much all of humanity right now. It's something that's really going on, and especially, you know, in a lot of, especially in music, you know, you don't really kind of talk about those sort of things in certain genres of music, and metal is one of those things where it's kind of an unspoken thing, you know, nobody really addresses it, but it's there, and it seems to sometimes make people kind of uncomfortable, because when you think metal, you think this manly, you know, macho sort of thing, you know, you hear heavy guitars and screaming, and that's what you think about. But the truth is, a lot of musicians coming out, especially a lot of gay musicians in the metal community coming out, and sort of, you know, starting to kind of open that communication and open the door for communication and talk.
I don't know about you, but the thing is, I mean, music is actually really asexual, personally, I think. But it is sexual. And it moves you in different ways, and you don't have to be male or female to appreciate music. You don't have to be male or female to actually sort of appreciate art. It's a personal thing, and I find that when you discriminate against the gender, that has really nothing to do with music apart from he, she, he, she. So that's really the only thing. But to me, it's more emotional and down to, you know, your sexuality in your mood for the moment, because music is sexual. I mean, everybody likes to get laid by music. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, there is this sexual connotation to music and stuff like that, and it's kind of weird how, you know, we as human beings always give, you know, inanimate objects, inanimate things, these, you know, female or male type of personas, and a lot of my friends that I found sometimes are that, like, listen to, like, the music that I listen to and the bands that I like and I'm on tour with and stuff like that. There's this kind of, like, they give this kind of, like, oh, well, that's for girls kind of thing. And it's like, dude, that doesn't really make sense. It's music. Like, how does music even translate into male or female? But, and that was kind of the whole idea that brought this kind of show to light in my head was, there's a lot of bands right now out there, like Rob Halford from Judas Priest. You have, a band called Cynic. They're a metal band where they're two of their main writers and vocalists came out as, gay males, and it's becoming more of a, subject that needs to be talked about, especially, in our form of music, because, again, you kind of have this connotation of, like, metal is for men or something, and it just doesn't really make sense, I've never really understood it. So that kind of brought that idea, and a lot of my friends and local bands around there, they're gay, and we're great friends, and I have no problem with it, and it's just, once I started seeing that, and now, with this kind of, like, this movement of really equal rights and equality, and, we're in the 21st century, and we're still having to debate and talk about, love as a male and female thing, rather than, like, just a feeling. And
I do know about you, but I know about you, but the thing is, I think the point is, the only thing that really became wrong with humanity is when politics and religion entered into it, because until then, we actually were quite harmonious. We liked music. Basically humans like different, basic things like we eat, we drink, we piss, we poop, we sleep, we fuck. That's basic. Then you put politics and religion into it, and then you're totally screwed. Everybody's screwed. So
I agreed, and that's kind of the idea that's sort of bringing all this together. It's the culmination of not being something that's really talked about in the music community that I belong to, and I think it really needed to be addressed. On top of the fact that we live in a day and age where it's the 21st century, and we're still discriminating against someone just because of who they sexually prefer. Like it just makes no sense to me. And we all bleed red. We're human beings. Whether or not you're gay or lesbian, who cares? That shouldn't put any sort of value on anything other than the fact, are you a good person, a bad person? What are you doing with your life, kind of thing.
Okay.
And
well, listen. Let's introduce some music for us, because you sent me three pieces of music, and ones that obviously you like. So explain the band, and we'll listen to them, and then we'll come back and we'll talk some more. How's that? So who are you going to introduce for us?
What band would I like to listen to?
Yeah, you sent me three.
Oh, me first.
Yeah, you sent me three pieces of music.
Oh, 3 tracks of my band. Yeah, absolutely. Well, the band I'm in is called No Life. It's spelled Knowlyft. We're out of Lansing, Michigan. We've been a band for 15 years, and the first track is called Rose Casket Diary, and it's actually off of our new record, which comes out in December. And the track is pretty much dealing, usually the idea of the track and the lyrical content is more about reflecting on the things that I did in past relationships, and realizing that some of those things that I did definitely weren't the right decisions to make, but also at the same time, that the blame doesn't only solely lie on myself. It takes 2 people to make a relationship work.
Yes, it does.
That's pretty much what it's about.
Yes, it does. Okay, then we shall listen to it, and we will come back in a few minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm James D, and you're listening to Gay Detroit Radio.
Stay
Yes, that was the Rose Casket Diaries. We're talking to Alfonso Civile, and a fellow Italian. Actually, I am married Italian. I must be stupid.
No, there you go.
So, what made you?
Bellissimo.
I know that we're talking about. It's really unfortunate that even in this day and age, with the help of religion and politics, that everybody is still being criticized for their sexual orientation. You've come up with this idea now. This is going to be held in Lansing, I believe. So tell us about what's this event that's going to happen in Lansing, and it's going to be on October the 31st, Halloween night. So
On
what's
Halloween,
happening?
yep. I thought that Halloween would be actually be a pretty great time to do it because I think in some weird way it'll make it easier for people who may feel uncomfortable and may not have any sort of like issue with the LGBT community, but may feel kind of uncomfortable because they don't know what it's like. I think Halloween would be a good time because it's good costumes. Everybody's there to just have a good time and celebrate and have fun. And the idea of the event is I got a bunch of the local bands from around here in Michigan to kind of band together, and then I got some drag queens, which I've never seen a drag queen show in my life.
Oh, good God.
Birdcage.
You're in for a treat.
Yeah. I was watching the Birdcage with my girlfriend, and I just, the idea kind of just popped into my head. And again, I'm from Miami, so that movie's, for me, it's a classic for me, because I'm very proud to be from Miami, Florida.
And listen, and one thing as well, don't kid yourself. I've seen some drag queens fight. My God, be scared, really.
So me personally, I'm extremely excited about this. So we got these metal bands together, and then we got these drag queens together. We're just going to throw a show.
That's hilarious.
We're gonna get, two completely opposite ends of the spectrum in music and the community to come together and, just kind of raise awareness and hang out and see, look, these people are absolutely normal people. The only thing that separates you from them is the fact that they choose to be in love with the same sex. But who cares? Like, what does that matter? Like, I don't understand. Like, the
yeah, well, it's unfortunate because you know yourself. I've been in the music business now for many years. I've also been in the acting business, yada, yada, yada. Let's face it, the music business and the entertainment business totally is, if you didn't have gays, the whole bloody system would collapse. So I
would have to agree with that.
So I can't understand why there's this, people saying, they're gay, let's get rid, So introduce another song, and then we'll go back because we're running out of time, and then we will actually say where the event is, when it's going to happen, and so what's your next song?
The next song is called Coffin Chaser, and that song is about, again, with this new record that we did, this is our 5th record that we're putting out, and it's the first time really where I've delved really into my own personal self and gotten really personal, really emotional with these lyrics, and it's about a relationship that I was in and pretty much how I took advantage of the situation and just an apology. It's pretty much an apology to the person that, who I wronged, and I just wanted to try and make it right in some way, so I wrote a song.
That sounds nice. That sounds really nice. Ladies and gentlemen, you listen to Gay Detroit Radio, and we'll be back after this song.
When
Once again, welcome back. I'm calling this Gay Metal Week because we've got a great guy called Alfonso Civile, and I think what you've come up with is a great idea because, believe it or not, like I said earlier, everybody thinks that, you know, the gay and the twinks, it's all like this bubblegum music and all flashy and everything's like, everybody's like 100 pounds ringing wet and all S's and God knows what. But you've actually educated me on this one. I'm really pleased that you have because who would have thought that, you know, gays liked heavy metal? And let's face it, we do. It's as simple as that. So why shouldn't we?
I mean, Judas Priest and Queen, those are like the two quintessential like rock and roll metal kind of bands that really stepped up the game, especially for the gay community. I mean, back in 1970s and 80s, you know, at the height of Queen's fame, you know, and Freddie Mercury, I mean, he was a man who openly admitted that he was gay. He was in one of the biggest bands in the entire world, but unfortunately, he still had a thing about.
The thing is, as well, when he was playing, I mean, you didn't think he was. You forgot he was gay. He was just Freddie Mercury.
Exactly.
He was performing. He was working.
Unbelievable.
And the thing is, he wasn't doing that in his. He was performing for you. So gayness just had nothing to do with it. The man was just total talent.
Mm-hmm.
So, young man, let's get back to your event. So, it's in Lansing, and it's on the 31st of October.
Yes, sir.
Whereabouts?
It is at the Loft in Lansing, Michigan. The address is 414 East Michigan Avenue, and it's right in the heart of downtown, literally right down the road from the Capitol.
Mm-hmm.
They have a website if you want to check out the event. You can go to theloftlansing.com, and the website is there. You can actually buy tickets online if you want to buy tickets online to the event. It's $10 in advance. That'll save you money if you wait till the day of the show. When you pay at the door, it's going to be $15. It's all ages. Starts at 7 o'clock, and we go all the way to about 1:30 in the morning. Just going to have a good time. We're going to have costumes. We're going to have, you know, a great drag queen show. We're going to have some great metal bands, local metal bands, and most of the bands that are on the show, with the exception of like two, most of the members are part of the LGBT community. They are either gay, transgender, or lesbian, so we wanted to include that as well as part of the performances. So, you know, it needs to be addressed. And that was a big part of it, too. So some of the performers are definitely part of the community. It's not just a bunch of straight people, you know, trying to get a handle on it. It's really educational, and it's really about bringing everybody together. So we wanted to make sure that the artists performing, at least some of them, were definitely part of the community and definitely understood and could educate the rest of us who aren't, you know.
Well, thank you very much for that. And you know, I want you to keep me informed about this because I would like to do follow-ups on this. Also, what I'm going to do is, as well, I'm going to I'm going to do the interview Friday, and then I'm going to redo it on the 31st as well. Repeat it so people can actually have another update. I'm so totally psyched you've actually done this. Thank you, Alfonso, because it's really a pleasure to find out that, you know, just taking it for what it is, it's music and it's enjoyable, and you're out there to have fun because we're too busy analyzing life instead of enjoying it.
Absolutely.
Alfonso, thank you ever so much, and please do keep in touch. I'd like to hear from you again.
For sure. Thank you so much, and thanks for having me on the show. I'm honored.
I am so honored. Thank you very much, Alfonso. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Gay Detroit Radio, and you're listening on www.radio-op.com. We'll be right back with another song.
I am
interesting show this is. I absolutely adore this. Well, thank you to good old Alfonso. And you can actually get him. And if you go to, just go to Facebook. Go to Facebook and it's www.facebook.com/Knowlyle. That's KNOWLYLE. Knowlyle, and get a lot more information there as well. I really did enjoy that. Wonderful. So let's get back into the world of politics and ridiculousness. AT&T has now donated $75,000 to help elect anti-gay Republican Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas. AT&T, the international telecommunications monolith. Where did they get these bloody titles from? With a revenue last year of $128 billion, has actually donated $75,000 to help elect the Republican Attorney General, Greg Abbott, for the governor of Texas. The Dallas-based telecom corporation also donated $50,000 to the Texas AG's campaign last year. So a lot of people saying, well, it's their money, they can do what they want. True, yes, they can. But then again, I just was in a bank meeting the other day, and we were talking, and I said to this bank, I said, listen, it's about time you actually started looking at what is laughingly called the pink dollar. This is really ridiculous now because a lot of money. Even if you don't agree with what we're doing or you don't like what we're doing, tough shit. Just jump on the cash cow and earn some money and shut your bloody mouth. As simple as that. But the pink dollar, once they start saying, this is how much power we've got, and then we start saying, well, okay, we'll buy something else. You've got to do this now. You hit them where it hurts. It's called hitting them in the wallet. Right in the pocket. And once again, the Catholic Church is back into the news. Last week, amid the backlash from the conservative Catholics, the Vatican backtracks on some positive reports on the gays, because last week it was reported that, gays do give some good feedback and we should get some good gifts from gays, paraphrasing it, of course. But now the conservatives are saying, no, we are not having that. So this to me is proving, or is it proving, that the Pope is just a puppet for these nasty little bastards in the back who don't want to give up their power? So who really is in power in the Catholic Church? Because it's certainly not God, and it certainly is not the Pope. So, it once again, hit them where it hurts, I'm telling you. And then this is ridiculous as well. This must be the ridiculous section, because we've got a GOP county chairman. And he said to a lesbian can move out of state so she can marry and go on welfare. Well, how is that? Yes, the good old Republicans once again shooting off their stupid, shit-faced mouths. I am getting so fed up with these people. If you're going to start shooting off your mouths and start being pompous and an ass in public and throwing all your power and your big fat weight about, at least have an education behind you, please, because you are coming out like the rednecks you are and you do not deserve. People, it's about time you started really researching who you're electing, because we're electing way too many idiots into office. Anyway, John Langoff, well, what a bloody name, Langoff, laugh off, jack off, is the Republican Party chairman in DeWitt County, Texas, an area that covers about 900 square miles and has about 20,000 residents. Langoff has some very strong opinions when it comes to same-sex marriage, and in a letter to the editor published today, he shared them wholeheartedly. Marriage is a religious ceremony for men and women which is recognized by the state. Civil unions is recognized by the state and is a state for homosexuals. You total jack off. Marriage is not a religious ceremony. Marriage is a lawful contract that is by law. L-A-W-U-S. Law. De la. Holy matrimony is a religious ceremony, but it still needs the law. L-A-W. It still needs the law to make it legal. So please, once again, get your facts on the law right, will you please? If you're going to be a total asshole, at least be an educated fucking asshole. And once again, we're back to the Republicans, yes. Republican supporter criticizes female Democrats' work ethic for having kids while in office. Well, I never knew that actually Democrats did have children in office. I actually thought they had them in a hospital, like everybody other civilized person. But maybe Republicans like having them off in the office so they can spout shit to everybody. What do I know? What do I know? Let's have some music. We'll have some Jeff Gooch, and then we'll be winding down the show. And here's some Jeff Gooch and some Bitter Sweet.
A child gets tainted every day, and of all the things we love, there's that much more to hate. Broken promises are all that we can get from the politicians that allow us to live in hope, in pain, in every part of every day. We drink defeat. All the world is bittersweet.
Welcome back to Gay Detroit Radio, which is www.radio-op.com. Also www.gaydetroitradio.com, 24/7. Click at your own convenience. gaydetroitradio@gmail.com if you want to email us. gaydetroitradio@twitter.com and Gay Detroit Radio with Facebook. What else can I say? I'm James D. And what an interesting show this week. Really, really loved it. Next week we've got Josh Durkee, and he is going to, he's actually running for state representative in the 93rd district, which is just above Lansing. And he actually is very, very LGBT friendly. And he's a true advocate because his brother's gay, and he actually has some good points of view, and also he likes the backing of science as well. So we're going to be listening to him next week. And let's have a couple of ridiculous bits of news before we leave. There is now, if you're actually shopping in Florida, please watch out for Walmarts, because there was a teenager there. He was having sex with a stuffed horse. Now, I know it's legal in Kentucky for a real horse, but I don't know the legalities or the legalese of Florida with stuffed animals. I am so... How ridiculous. And also, as well, studies now link homosexuality to eating grits. My father is English, and he's never seen grits in his life, and he didn't even know what grits is. And here I come, the Queen of fucking England in Detroit. How ridiculous. People get paid for this shit. Oh, God. Well, we're going to have more insanity next week, ladies and gentlemen. I'm James D., and you listen to Gay Detroit Radio. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.